fam? This is Kobe with VSG Black-ish with another episode this week. I am trying to do weekly episodes. God help me, I am trying. Busy. So I want to first thank you so much for those who are tuning in on today. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit those likes so we can get that engagement up, so we can get this positivity out to everybody that's possible. But listen, it's a new month, new goals, new opportunities. It's just new, and I'm excited about what's ahead. Listen, my affirmation that I look at daily is, listen, it will happen. I don't care what it is. I don't care how many obstacles you've had. I don't care where you are in the journey, whether you haven't started, you are starting, just starting, been in it for a while, but eventually it's going to happen. What's going to happen? Whatever your goal is, whatever the promise is that you made to yourself or the promise that was made to you, listen, it's going to happen. Listen, make today count. Make today count, make tomorrow count, make the week count, make the month count, make the year count, make your life count. So we must begin to be in that mind frame of every single morning to make sure that we ask those questions and ask the question, what do you want? I ask that question every day, sometimes multiple times a day. Kobe, what do you want? That challenges myself to be accountable to myself, as accountable to my promises, accountable to my goals, and also it makes me reevaluate. If my needs or wants do change, I am honest with myself to be able to ask that question, what do you want? I did something that I never thought I would do. I did something that I never thought I would do. I posted a shirtless picture. Listen, when I was over 400 pounds, I would listen, at all costs, I would avoid taking my shirt off in front of anybody. Even if on the beach, swimming pool, when I did go, I would always keep a shirt on, because that was that self-consciousness that I had, where I did not want to show my body. And I just wanted to, the reason why I did it was I just wanted to show somebody or give somebody some inspiration. I'm not nowhere near where I want to be, but it definitely is a testament of what hard work and giving yourself over to the process can look like. So with all my loose skin and all my stretch marks and all, I just put it out there, praying that someone can be inspired to get on their journey, inspired to continue their journey, inspired to start. Here it is. Here we go. So I was sitting with a friend. We were discussing the weight loss process, and it went to a comment. They were asking me some advice for another friend who was considering starting this whole process as well. And we began to talk about old Kobe, talk about bigger Kobe, 400-pound Kobe. And something I rarely talked about because it was embarrassing. It is embarrassing, but it is truth. And I wanted to share that this week to help somebody, let somebody know, hey, you're not feeling it alone. This is not something only you feel, if you are in fact feeling this, or if you're in fact going through this. But I was addicted to food, literally, and I believe I still am, and I'm working through it. Listen, therapy is hard work. True therapy is hard work, because me and a friend, my friend Dora, I'm so proud of her. She's graduating. She's a therapist. I'm so happy for her. But we were talking, and we're talking about how therapy is hard work. Therapy, if you're not willing to do the work, therapy really is not going to work for you, because just talking and releasing to someone is not it. You know, you have to use the tools that you are given. You have to be willing to do the work, and it's not easy. There are times where I go to therapy and I feel great going there, but by the time I leave, I'm like, why in the world am I paying you to beat up on me? Nevertheless, I digress. In the conversation with the friend, we were talking about, me and my process, and I begin to share with them something that I've never shared with anybody. I never shared it with anybody. It's embarrassing, but it is my truth, and I just felt led to make a video about it to help someone, maybe someone out there that can relate. But I was addicted to food. Growing up, I am a grandma's boy. She's passed and gone on now, but I'm a grandma's boy to heart. She raised me, and those of you know Big Mama made sure if you went out of the house, you had a full stomach and you had a greasy forehead. What you mean, boy? That means, for those of you who don't know, but when you're raised by your grandma, especially your grandma who, she's saved, I had a greasy forehead with her oiling me down, praying over me before I left the house, and I had full-fledged meals every morning. There was not a morning that Hattie Knuckles let me leave that house without food. I mean, salmon croquettes, grits, eggs, sausage, homemade biscuits. She even had oatmeal. There was always a plethora and a platter that was always awaiting me, whether it be breakfast, if I was home, lunch and dinner. And there was always a pound cake. My God, a pound cake that was always setting up. They don't make them like that no more. Y'all need to listen, women. You need to keep a pound cake on your counter. All right, I digress. But nonetheless, I did have a very not so great childhood. But one of the things and one of the comforts that I always could count on and always had growing up was food. Food was my comfort. It became the most consistent thing in my life. Food, I knew if I didn't have anything else growing up, I was going to have food. And food was going to be that thing that gave me comfort. It gave me comfort. In the winter months, I knew I was going to get some hot grits and salmon, and that kept me, So I don't know if that makes sense, but that because I didn't deal with a lot of childhood trauma and a lot of things in my childhood and growing up and kept the baggage with me, I also kept those coping mechanisms with you. When you grow, when you don't deal with the baggage of your past, you bring on the coping mechanisms of your past. And mine was eating. Food was my safety place. Food was what I knew was going to fix the problem. If I had a bad day, if I had a bad feeling, if I felt depressed, if I had a good day, if I had a good announcement, whatever the feeling was, the result was food. Celebration meal, sympathy meal, depression meal. It was always food. Everything centered around food in my life. And if you think about it, growing up, especially in the African American community, Southern, the food is an extension of love. How dare you go in somebody's house and not eat? That is an insult to some people. So food just culturally, um, emotionally, food became my everything. So even in growing up and even in my adulthood, food controlled me. Um, and I did not eat to live, but I lived to eat. I believe Jada Smith, said that, she eats to live, not lives to eat. And that is what I'm learning to do. And, you know, I'm having to deal with that, deal with why do I go to food? Why, I'm a loner. I'm the only child. And so I spend a lot of time alone. And my goal this year to COVID put a wrench in my plans. I was like, this year I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna meet new people, whatever. And then 2020 happened. Said, get back in the house. So I'll do that next year, hopefully, if there's a vaccine. But so I brought that into my adulthood. So I just relied on food. It was my comfort. It made me feel good. When the world was vicious, when the world made me feel horrible, when things made me feel horrible, food was, if I could just get a taste of something good, I just knew everything was going to be all right. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how it was for me. And I'll tell you something that is, again, I never thought I would tell anybody, just like I never thought I would post a picture without a shirt on. I am doing things terrified this year. I'm doing it terrified. Things I said I would never do. I'm doing it terrified. I'm doing it shaking, but I'm going to do it. This year, if you have to do it terrified, if you have to do it scared, just do it. Okay? Just do it. So, it will be nothing for me in the middle of the night, like at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I go to bed early, so the middle of the night is 10 or 12 o'clock to me. But something would trigger my mind. I couldn't sleep or what have you. Something would trigger me. I would be depressed, or I would feel alone, and I would get in my car and go to McDonald's. And this is what I would order. I would order 2 Big Macs, no pickle. I would order a double cheeseburger, no pickle, extra mustard and extra ketchup, a large fry. I would get 2 of the pies. If they did not have the strawberry cream pies, I would get the apple pie. And I would get 2 sweet teas. And I would get 2 sweet teas, not because I would want to drink 2 sweet teas, but because I did not want them to know that I was getting all that for myself. And I would think about how I would force myself to eat. I would be full. I would be satisfied. I would know I would be full and satisfied, but I forced myself to eat because it was that pleasure. It was that feeling of pleasure as I was eating, and I didn't want it to end. I didn't want that pleasure and that feeling to ever end. So I would just eat and eat and eat. And even after that, I would go across the street to the convenience store and get 2 honey buns and eat the honey buns and a soda, and being miserable doing it. But because it's what I knew, and because it was the only sense of physical release that I could have from that moment, from a childhood, even from the childhood, I would go through something very traumatic, but there would be a platter waiting for me after it was done. So I reverted to that. When something bad happens, there's a platter waiting for me. If something good happens, there's a platter waiting for me. And I just kept that with me. So that would be, and I would eat I would eat, it was crazy is I would eat fast. I would eat very fast because I also didn't want what was good to me in the moment being taken away. I would always feel like what was good was going to be taken away from me. And that, again, I'm talking about years of childhood issues and things of that nature that I am currently working through. But I just wanted to really put it out there. And it was embarrassing. It is embarrassing. You know, I would be that person that will put you on hold when I ordered if we was on FaceTime or on the phone. And I would put the phone down so you wouldn't see my lips ordering. And it would take me a long time to order. It would take me a long time to order, you know. It would be nothing for me to eat 2 Whoppers with cheese, no pickle, and get a Whopper Junior. You know, it would be nothing and a fry. Listen, I would go, and I can't believe I'm telling y'all this. Sweets was and is my downfall. Baked goods, cakes, pies, I love it. It would be nothing for me to call Publix and pretend like there is a birthday and we order a sheet cake. And I would have eaten that sheet cake in a matter of 2 days. There would be nothing for me to call Papa John's and order a extra large, not a large, but an extra large pizza and eat that in one setting. I would force myself to eat because I knew as long as I felt that pleasure of food, everything was going to be all right. Everything was going to be all right. But everything was not all right. And that led me to diabetes, high blood pressure, barely able to walk, swollen ankles, barely able to breathe, almost dying in my sleep because of all of the extra stuff within me. No passageway for my breath to breathe. Excruciating back pain because of the size of my stomach. It was not worth it. And I had to ultimately decide, am I going to confront the issue or am I going to keep pacifying it with food? Literally, food was almost at one point in my life, for a long time in my life, food was my biggest expense. More than my rent, more than my car payment when I had a car. I was paying more in food because, listen, I didn't cook. I would always be eating out. Like literally, I would spend maybe almost $50 a day on food. Literally, $50 a day on food. And it put me in debt. Listen, food addiction is real and it is serious. And one thing, and it's triggering. A lot of people don't understand when you get big and when you become unhealthy, it's like a spiral, you know. It's triggering just being big. You know, just imagine going into a store or going into society, because the world is not made for big people. The world is not. Think about the airplanes, when you go in a store, just constantly going in the store and you having friends going and buying stuff out of the store, and you can only buy accessories because they don't offer your size. The store is telling you you're not good enough for us to hold your size in our store. That's triggering. That hurts. Fat shaming is a thing. People treat you different when you're bigger. I'm a witness. People treat you completely different. But I just want to encourage you, if you are slightly, if you can relate to my story, I want you to know that there is hope. You can beat it. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be very hard. You're going to have to confront the triggers and you're going to have to replace it. You know, right now, what I do is when I'm triggered and when I feel urges and when I feel like I just can't make it another day, instead of me going to Publix and getting that cake or getting that fried chicken and, you know, getting that burger, I head to the gym. That has been successful for me. I head to the gym and I work out and I feel great afterwards. But that's my story of me being addicted to food, and hopefully it'll help somebody. But again, I just want to thank you so much for your support. I'm going to try to keep doing weekly videos. I know it's been sporadic, but I'm trying. So that was this week's video. Hopefully it helps somebody. Again, if you have any suggestions on anything you want me to talk about, I did, again, for those who were talking about loose skin, I did post a picture on my Facebook and Instagram, and I'll put it on the video about how I look. Because again, like I was stating in the earlier videos, my goal was to get as much less loose skin as possible. So I hit the gym as soon as I was released. So of course it's impossible for you to lose that much weight within that little amount of time and not have any loose skin. So around my stomach, there is quite a bit of loose skin. Some people say it's impossible for you to tighten it up. You're gonna have to get it surgically done. I love proving people wrong. So I'm going to work in the gym and see what I can do with that. And if you know, I'll just keep grinding and we'll go from there. But that's this week's video. And again, subscribe, share this to somebody who you think it may work or help rather. That's my story. This is my song. All right. And again, be good to yourself, be kind to yourself, and be healthy. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.